This is Special Agent Dave Hornyak with the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, about to attempt a phone interview follow-up with Ruthanna Gray of Fairborn, Ohio, relative to a written statement she gave to the Beavercreek police on August the 5th, 2014 regarding what she reported to be a suspicious person texting in the parking lot after this shooting that occurred in the Walmart in Beavercreek on the 5th. The call is going to 937-301-6032 as the number written on the written statement of Ruthanna Gray.
Hello.
Hi, can I speak to Ruthanna Gray, please?
This is her.
Hi, Miss Gray. This is Special Agent Dave Hornyak. I'm with the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation. How are you this evening?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm right off the bat, I'm calling regarding this statement you gave to the Beavercreek police. My agency is investigating the shooting that occurred at Walmart the other night.
Uh-huh.
And do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions about that statement?
Yes.
Okay. And ma'am, I have your address as 852 Princeton Avenue, Fairborn. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. And for clarification purposes, and again, I am looking at your written statement, so if you have any questions about what you wrote, let me know, and I'll assure you I have it in my hand. But for verification, what is your date of birth, ma'am?
4/24/1978.
4/24. And what's your social security number? Okay, all I'm getting at here, I've read through your account. So is it accurate to say that you reported what you believe to be a suspicious person, spent some time in the parking lot texting after the shooting?
Yes.
Okay. And you reported it's a silver car, and the license plate you wrote, I don't expect you to remember it, but you did write JUC.
Juicy for you?
Yeah, okay. Okay.
It was a weird license plate.
Yeah, good. Okay, ma'am, so just briefly or as in-depth as you want, and I do have your written statement. We're following up as an independent agency on this shooting, so we've taken over the investigation. In regard to your statement, what first stood out? Why did you think that person was suspicious? Where were you at? Just start wherever you want to and go through a couple of details for me if you don't mind.
Okay. Well, where I was parked at was off to the side of the market side of the doors.
Yeah.
And I was on the other side of the cart of the second set.
Yep.
Like two of them back.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just all standing outside. We were watching what was going on. When this silver car pulled in, not like directly on the other side of the car holder. It was like one space over from that.
Okay.
Like closer to the building.
Yep.
And we were sitting there, and after like a couple minutes, at first I thought, well, was something like this going on? Maybe he was there to pick up an employee or something, because he was not dressed in the, like, from the top up that I could see, in Walmart uniform.
Yeah.
So I didn't think he was there to work. So after standing there, we're playing with the kids, and we're watching what's going on, I noticed nobody's gotten in the car with him.
Uh-huh.
And he has yet to ask anybody what's going on, or shut the car off, or get out of the car.
Okay.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just sitting there watching him, and then I sat there and kind of looked at my cousin's husband to have him watch that vehicle, and he was like, I've noticed that, he's not doing anything. But every time a police officer would move or make any kind of move, he would pick up his phone and text.
Okay.
And then I noticed that he kept looking down in the front of the building, like where all the other vehicles and stuff were parked.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there just watching him out of the corner of my eye, as I'm talking to different news people coming up or whatever. And when they came up and they started moving vehicles, he kind of got antsy in his seat. He sat straight up and he was watching.
Yeah.
then the one officer came out and was taping off the SUV, and he, like, hung his head down, and he, like, mummed, like, at that, you know, you could kind of see, like, his shoulders went down and his head went down, and that's when I thought, that is just really weird.
Okay. I mean, are you saying at that point it looked like he was trying to hide from letting the police see him? Okay.
Like where the cops were at, you could not see his car.
Okay.
There was a truck that was sitting on the other side of him that was further, like, up. I'm trying to think of how to word that. Like, if you were to be down by the front of the building and look back towards where I was at, you would not see this silver car at this point in time, because the truck had came and parked and was up a little bit further than the front of his car.
Okay. Now, the one part
that was after.
Got it. One part of your statement says he never shut his lights off. So were the lights on the entire time? Though, the
lights were on the entire time.
Okay. So
he's got those LED, really bright lights.
Right. So he made no attempt to conceal the fact that somebody was in the vehicle. You're just saying that it looked like he was trying to hide his face from police or something to that extent?
It wasn't like he was trying to hide his face. He was just, like, I guess, to me, it was like he was trying to hide that he was watching everything.
I see. Okay.
It was just like a disgust feeling that I got that something was not right.
Okay. And ma'am, let me go back up. So your statement says you got there, and I'm assuming that's Walmart, around 9:15. Is that accurate?
That's when I asked my cousin's husband what time we had gotten there, because I didn't look at my phone.
Yeah.
But right when we got there, I had taken pictures of the front of the store.
Okay.
And in the pictures that I took, on my phone said that it was around like 9. It was between like 9:05 and 9:10.
Yep.
When those pictures were taken, that's on my phone. That silver car is not in those pictures.
Okay. Why were you taking pictures of the front of the store, ma'am?
All the lights.
All the police lights?
Yes.
Okay. So you pulled in and you saw an emergency response going on. Is that accurate?
Right.
Okay, and
it was like right out, apparently not too long after it happened, because when I pulled in, we got out of the vehicle, and there was employees that were standing outside, back by where I parked, which I was back by the news crews.
Yep.
And the employees, the one woman and the guy that I talked to, told us that, you know, some of what was going on, what they had seen, and that's why I thought it was so weird. Like, everybody else that was pulling in was stopping and asking us what was going on.
Yep.
Is the store open? But this guy didn't.
Okay. But you and whoever you were with did stay in the parking lot, even though you knew you couldn't get into Walmart. You still stayed around to see what was going on, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, is it so as suspicious as it may be the guy didn't get out? If it's 9:15, that's almost an hour after the first incident happened. So we are actually, there's going to be a lot of people that knew about it. People listen to police radios and so forth. Is it possible, thinking about that it's just a bystander that wants to be nosy about what's going on, is texting friends saying, "Hey, I'm right out here"? I mean, is there something that makes you 100% certain that might not be what was going on?
No, because he was fine, and every time he would move, he would text. But as soon as the one police officer that I gave my statement to moved his SUV up by the tape that was closer to me on this side of the SUV, and then the news crews moved their cameras up to right in front of where his car was parked, he proceeded to leave. He texted somebody and then took off.
Okay, so it's not what you would have done, coming up to just watch the scene, but you just think, in your opinion, even though you were there watching yourself and other people were, you just found that guy to be, his presence to be suspicious?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Do you have a more descriptive idea of what you think was going on with him?
I think he was watching the SUV.
Okay. So you're speculating that he might have known the person in the SUV?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, well, if I can go into further detail.
Go ahead.
Well, I know that the SUV now belongs to a young lady, because her uncle showed up there and started talking to us after the the guy had just left, this guy pulls up and says that he is her uncle, that the girl belongs to, I guess, the SUV.
Yep.
The gentleman that was with me, my cousin's husband, asked him if he knew anybody, a black gentleman who drove a silver new Chrysler.
Okay.
And he said not to his knowledge. But then when Tim sat there and proceeded, he asked what he looked like, and he said he had longer hair, pulled back in a ponytail, just kind of like had that puffball thing going on in the back.
Yep.
And everything. He got this really strange look on his face, and then proceeded to pick up the phone and call his nephew, who was there when all this was going on, and was talking to him over the phone, and said something about, yeah, hurry up and get it to the pole barn, or something like that, which me and Tim were talking, and he said that he found that, very weird how he, we got the description in the car and everything, and he called and asked his nephew if he knew that vehicle, and then started talking about putting it somewhere else.
Okay.
I'm going to school for criminal justice and corrections, and later I will be doing the police academy.
Okay.
And, that's why I stayed and watched, because I wanted to see how you guys do things.
Yep.
And I don't know, it's not sitting right with me at all, the way this guy was acting and watching and then texting. And then when, the SUV gets taped off, his head goes down and he's picking his phone right back up. He never got out and talked to anybody. And then the way that this guy acted.
Okay. And you're saying that the person that made the call claimed to be the uncle of the SUV owner. Did I follow that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay.
The uncle is what showed up there to the young lady who, I guess, owns that SUV.
Yep.
And he was on the phone calling his nephew that was there when all this happened.
Okay.
Because he was talking to us about it. He said, his nephew had been there, his nephew left, came back to the house and told him what was going on, and that he couldn't get a hold of, talk to his niece. Nobody was telling him anything, so he came down there. And that's when Tim proceeded to ask him if he knew anybody who drove that car, because it just wasn't sitting right with us how he was acting and how we figured him to be watching that vehicle.
Okay. And then Tim is your husband, ma'am?
Tim is my cousin's husband.
Okay. All right.
I was just the driver of the vehicle. We were going there to shop, but
yep.
I drive them since they don't drive.
Good enough. What's Tim's last name?
Shepherd.
Okay. I actually
He's the other one who wrote out.
Yeah,
the
so
statement.
I have a written statement from him. I actually called his number as well, and it's no longer in service. But have you talked with him, or are you guys on the same page with what you were saying you saw?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so you're talking about the same vehicle as Tim Shepherd?
Yes.
Okay. All right, anything else to add, ma'am?
I really think you guys need to find out if there is connection between the person driving that car and the person who owns that SUV. And the uncle himself even said that she runs around with some questionable people. And I know it's a lot of speculation, but it just does not sit right with me the way he was acting.
Okay. Nope, I appreciate you giving the information to police and speaking with me tonight, ma'am. I really do.
But do you want me to get a hold of Tim and tell him to call in?
Well, I'll tell you what. If your stories, if it's your understanding, you and he both talked. Your description was much more descriptive than his, and had the license plate and so forth. And if you already know and spoke with him, I don't think I need further confirmation unless he has. If you want to talk with him and he has anything to add, you can get a hold of. Have him call the Beavercreek PD if he has anything to add, and ask him to get a hold of BCI through that means.
Okay.
But if he doesn't, there's no need.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am, thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you.
All right, bye. Call terminated at 5:43 p.m. Began at approximately 5:28 p.m.